Excuse me. Hi, my name is Terry. The reason why I'm doing this video today is to share a dream with you that I had on the morning of October the 19th. I just have felt in my spirit that it's one that I need to put out and share with folks. This isn't, putting videos isn't out there, isn't something that I do very well, so please bear with me. But so I'm going to read from my paper so that I don't forget anything, because I wrote it down. I feel like this is significant because, I've heard many people talk about brothers and sisters in Christ that have put YouTube videos out, and, where they've talked about, the body, people in general that have been being monitored by the government, and, and so on, without getting, into a lot of detail. But I was praying, and I've asked the Lord to, show me and let me see what's happening, and to reveal that to me. So I had this dream, and again, I just want to share so that, maybe it'll give somebody some insight. If nothing else, maybe a witness as well. So again, this was on October the 19th. I had it very early in the morning. So I was in a house that is unfamiliar to me. I'm in the dream, and I saw Barack and Michelle Obama, and there were other people in the dream, that I don't know. The Obamas were the center of everything that was going on in the dream. People were swooning over them, and they would do whatever Barack and Michelle would say, or engage in whatever they were doing. Michelle seemed to be the one that engaged most with people. She kept everything moving. She was more the person that was in the background, whereas Barack was the one who was, he was in the front, the one who smiled, and he interacted more with, I would say, his inner circle or key individuals. So in the dream, I sat down at a table in front of someone that I knew in the dream, and we talked with each other. It was just a general conversation. Michelle Obama showed up, and she sat down with us at the table. I think from now on, I'm just going to use the word Michelle and Barack. She carefully listened, and, she would interject occasional comments. So at one point, my friend, again, this was just a friend in the dream. I didn't even see the face of the individual in the dream itself. This person pointed out that, referring to me, that I have some things about myself that I don't like. Again, Michelle was sitting there, and I shook my head in agreement with this individual, and Michelle spoke up, and she began to compliment me and tell me, how great I looked, and just seemed kind of strange, but out of the norm kind of comments. But I listened. I mentioned feeling uncomfortable and embarrassed about some blotches on my face. For some reason in the dream, I said that. So again, she was very flattering. Then I noticed that wherever I went, she was there, and she analyzed my every movement. It was as if I would see myself start to do something, and then, excuse me, I'm outside, so my paper's blowing around a little bit. Let me figure out where I was at. I apologize, 1 second. She analyzed my every movement. It was as if I would see myself start to do something, and then I would unexpectedly change the way I was going about doing it. And it even surprised me in the dream. So, for example, there was a young woman that was laying on the floor, and I'd walked over to talk with her. The woman appeared to be able to talk and, carry on and engage in an adult conversation as she was laying on the floor, but she was unable to control her body for some reason, her body movements. She had absolutely no control over her body. But anyway, as I was talking with the woman, I felt a strong need, to scratch my neck on the right side. And I was even thinking, it itches, so I went to scratch it. And as I started to do so, I actually ended up scratching on the complete opposite side. And I felt as though in the dream that Michelle knew what I was thinking, and somehow she rerouted my thought, causing a completely different action. Can't explain it, but that's what happened. So she was standing very close by, and she watched me very, very closely. So after I scratched that on the left side, she smiled and she acknowledged, "Hey, you did the right thing." Just kind of that, that a girl, you did what I expected you to do. So she's still standing there beside me and watching me when I had a random, pardon me, I changed the page, and an urgent thought. I need to find my daughter, Taylor. Now, let me just interject something quickly. My daughter, Taylor, passed away 3 years and 3 months, almost to the day that I had this dream. So I just wanted to say that. So again, just to continue from there. So she had passed away, but I needed to find my daughter, Taylor, or to reach her by phone immediately. I don't even know why I felt an urgent need to contact her. I started looking for her in the house that I was in. I walked over to another room because I heard women talking and I saw that the door was open. So I looked inside the room, and I saw these women in reclining seats, and they looked like the seats that you would see in a movie theater, that you can recline backwards, or you could set up and watch the movie. And these women were watching and talking about what they were viewing on the screen in front of them. Seemingly a very serious conversation. The room was dark, but I could still see them. I didn't look at what they were watching, but I did call Taylor's name, and I looked to see if I could find her. The two women stopped talking and they stared at me. They didn't say anything. So I realized that Taylor wasn't there, so I moved on to look elsewhere. Michelle had been following me this whole time. She spoke up and she asked me for Taylor's phone number. She said she wanted to help me find her. Okay, now this is the part that gets really strange. So strangely, I opened my iPhone and I saw unusual 3D images display on my iPhone screen. And the images were quickly changing to more and more images. They just kept appearing. And they were all being monitored real time. So I could see everything that was going on was changing as though something was being monitored, and it was being monitored real time, or as it was happening. I saw an image of the world, so a round globe type image on my screen, as if it were being recorded real time from the atmosphere far above it. So I was kind of looking down on it as it was happening, and I could still see it spinning on my screen. I saw space that surrounds the Earth also, in this image around the Earth, and it too was very active. My entire phone screen was covered with live 3D images. I then touched the globe, on the image on the iPhone screen, and it expanded into multiple sections and layers. And I noticed that every time I did that, it would bring up more and more sections and more layers under everything that I touched. And it was like everything was still active and alive. I had no idea what I was looking at. I merely wanted to find Taylor's number so that I could share it with Michelle, as she was determined to help me find Taylor. Okay. I was embarrassed because I was struggling to understand what was happening to my phone, which made it nearly impossible to navigate the screens and to find my contact list. So I swiped the images up and down, and I swiped them left to right. And as I did that, the world image that I started with dissected into additional images with, again, sections and layers under that image, which were additional images. I then realized that literally everything on Earth was viewable from a global level, or from the highest level, starting with the globe and the universe, everything around the Earth, down to its lowest level. So it would dissect. Let me get back to where I was at. I apologize. So I realized that literally everything on Earth was viewable from a global level down to the smallest piece of information on every topic that pertains to every person, every place, or thing. This includes live images that start at the macro or the highest level, and by touching or spreading apart each level, the live image became more granular until the very smallest piece of data, like a phone number, could be seen. The phone number then was active because you could touch it and it would actually start to make, it would make the phone call. So I guess in summary, in terms of in respect to what I saw in the image of the globe that was turning, and I could see the atmosphere and everything around the globe, which was the Earth. Um, I could see like a little, I could see exactly where I was standing on that Earth, on that globe, and I would touch it. And when I did that, it would expand and go down to another layer. Section would show up on the screen, and it would make multiple sections depending on what about me that it was presenting. So if I'd push another piece of information about myself, it would expand to even more information until it's like it knew everything about me, everything that I knew, anything that had any references to me. Um, where I'm at any given time, where I've been at any given time, everyone that's connected to me or who's ever been connected to me, it seems. So again, that was very, very strange. So just to finish the dream, once I realized that I needed to drill down from the point on the globe that pinpointed exactly where I was standing, I could then dissect my personal, I felt like it was my personal location address. Um, and then when I'd start to dissect it, I could then find everything that is known and accessible by me. So I eventually found Taylor's phone number. And when I did, Michelle abruptly took the phone out of my hands and she proceeded to make the call. She rang and rang and rang the phone as she called Taylor's name, and she was pacing back and forth, and the phone was still ringing when I woke up. Very unusual, strange dream to say the least, but it sure gave me a better sense of what's happening. I can't say that I know who and all the parties that are responsible for making it happen, but it is happening, and our cell phones are being used to track us, to learn and understand who we're communicating with. That's the sense that I got from this dream, even as I prayed about it after having the dream. Everything's being monitored. Everything is being monitored. And I've even heard someone say something about if you turn your phone off, you can still be tracked. And I thought, I don't know about that, but and I may be the same for the Android, but I did do a Google search on for the iPhone to see, just to kind of get a sense of what happens when you turn your phone off. Can you still be monitored or tracked or whatever the case may be? And and you can, and I guess they say it's based on some of the settings that are out on your phone. Now, I'm not a genius when it comes to understanding the million, it feels like, settings that are out there, but I did go out and I turned a lot of them off, and I even turned off the phone. And I think it was the night after I had this dream, I actually went to Kroger's on the other side of town, not where I typically go to the store. And I was driving my husband's truck, which is very rare. And I got a notification on my phone after having turned off what I felt was any setting that could have anything to do with tracking or notifications or whatever. I did get a notification. It told me that it knows now where my new location is at. I thought that was kind of odd. So anyway, I feel the need to share that. I mean, I'm going to still say whatever God puts on my heart to say. I just want to make the folks aware that everything's being watched for some reason. So don't be surprised by that. I don't know how the information is going to be used or whatever, but it seems to be, what's happening. So thank you for listening. Pray, take it to the Lord in prayer. I don't know, maybe there's something He'll share with you or give you a confirmation. But God bless you. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.